From the days of black and white classics to the latest CGI spectacles, filmmakers have been turning pint-sized props into blockbuster magic. I mean, who wouldn't want to make a tiny world feel as epic as the last season finale of your favorite binge-worthy show? Well, we're about to prove that size doesn't matter when it comes to creating epic shots of your favorite action figures. Hi everybody, I'm Kersten Luts and you're watching Platypod TV, brought to you by Platypod, where innovation never sleeps. And in today's video, I'll show you how you can get amazing results photographing the toys and action figures you love in just a few easy steps. From setting up lighting, backdrops, and adding final touches in editing. I'll take you through the whole process step by step. Plus, there's a great tip on how to create even more realism with a sense of atmosphere in your image. So make sure you don't miss that one. Now, if you've been keeping up with my past videos, and if not, just hit that subscribe button. It's like adopting a virtual pet. You'll know I'm a sci-fi nut. My love for the genre is so intense that my wife has a strict no spaceships, no movie policy. I guess that's how you know you found your co-pilot for life.
I love you.
I know.
And in today's stellar episode, we're diving into the galaxy's outer rim with the undisputed master of the Force, the original Dark Knight himself. Or at least capturing his good side in a photograph. That's if there was ever a good side. Did anybody else find the young Anakin Skywalker kind of creepy?
I'm a person and my name is Anakin.
So buckle up, because we're about to prove that size doesn't matter when it comes to creating epic shots of your favorite action figures. Oh, and may the Force be with you. Getting into toy photography is a fantastic avenue to unleash your creativity, sharpen your lighting techniques, and refine your composition skills. The potential for storytelling is boundless, offering a canvas where your imagination knows no limits. So let's have a look at Mini Darth over here. My action figure is a whopping 12 inches tall, and let me tell you, he's got more joints than a contortionist in a yoga class. That's great because I can create any pose I want. I also love the fabric tunic that adds some great texture and detail to the figure and helps sell the realism of it. To make sure Darth stays in place, I fixed him to a clamp, an elbow, and a platypod. I can now make sure his pose is rock solid. For today's photo shoot, we're going full blockbuster. I want Darth to look so powerful that even Yoda would ask for his autograph.
The shadow of greed, that is.
To amp up the drama, we're going low with the camera angle. It's the classic make the action figure feel like a rock star move. Setting the stage for your action figure is like building a mini Hollywood. And that's where the real fun kicks in. Now, some folks, like my fellow Platypod pros, Dave the Berrymaker and Jesse Fireeisen, practically create action figure Broadway with their mind-blowing dioramas. Now, for those of us who can't tell a glue stick from a lightsaber, fear not. I've got a trick up my sleeve that's both easy and spectacular. I found an amazing Star Wars background image of a derelict scene on the Death Star. That's going to work perfectly for my shoot. What I've done is, I've put this image on a computer screen and placed the action figure in front of it. That way, I can experiment with different backgrounds quite easily. Here's a top tip. For this to work even better, use a long focal length. This will compress the background, which means less of the backdrop will be visible in your shot. Perfect for when you're using a screen. Okay, let's dive into the lighting setup for our mini epic. I've got not one, not two, but 4 lights working their magic. For the key light, I'm using a LumeCube Panel Pro with a color temperature set to 5600 Kelvin. I'm feathering it, giving Darth that soft glow without any unwanted screen reflections. To separate him from the background and to add some drama, I'm using one of my LumeCubes as a rim light. It's positioned behind him, and I've used a platypod elbow and a clamp to attach it to the top of my screen. Now, to add a little bit more light to his mask, I've positioned the other LumeCube above and slightly in front of him, angled slightly forward to get the light under the rim of his helmet. And to dodge any unwanted reflections, I MacGyvered a flag out of black poster board. To pull off these lighting stunts, I've connected 2 goosenecks for maximum reach and used a Platypod Extreme as a base. Now for the piece de résistance, the lightsaber, I've thrown in another Panel Pro to the left of Darth, set to red, for that authentic lightsaber glow on his threads. That's gonna blend in perfectly when I add the real lightsaber look in the edit later on. Alright, so let's have a look at camera settings and lens choice. I'm using an 85mm micro lens for APS-C, which on my full-frame camera body gives me the equivalent of a focal length of approximately 127mm. And if you were to use a slightly bigger screen, you could easily use an 85mm or a 105 macro lens to get similar results. But even a 70-200 at the long end will work fine for toy photography. For this shot, my camera was set to f4, 1/25th of a second shutter speed at ISO 500. Shooting with a tripod is essential here to avoid any camera shake. Now get ready for the secret sauce of our photo shoot. Since this is a battle scene, I can imagine fires burning, sparks flying, and smoke rising. I love using this atmosphere spray to create an additional layer in the shot. But here's the kicker. This isn't your run-of-the-mill Photoshop magic. This spray is the real deal. And it's got personality. With every click of the shutter, it adds a dash of unpredictability. The trick is to backlight it so that it shows up more intensely in your shot. Now that the practical part of our shoot is done, let's see how we can add some Hollywood drama in Photoshop and Lightroom. The first thing I'll do is just set the basic exposure by increasing the shadows and bringing the highlights back a bit. Once that's done, I'll hop over to Photoshop to create an awesome looking lightsaber and add some light to the suit. Some of his buttons light up red and green, and that's easily added in Photoshop. There are many awesome tutorials on YouTube on how to create that lightsaber look, but if you're interested in a detailed breakdown, then leave a message in the comments and I'm happy to oblige. For today, I'm just going to speed through it. Once that's done, I'll hop back over to Lightroom and use the Color Effects plugin to add some general contrast and a slight color cast to bring out the reds and blues. And we're done. And there you have it, folks. Toy photography basics with a sci-fi edge. From posing the main subject, creating an awesome background, to creating interesting lighting and adding some atmosphere on set and in the edit. Toy photography is a fantastic way to have fun and challenge your skills as a photographer. Now, if you want to learn more about toy photography, check out my podcast, the Camera Shake Podcast, where I've talked to toy photography pros Dave the Berrymaker and Jesse Eisen in detail about how they create their amazing images. And if you're not yet following the Camera Shake Podcast, then what the heck are you doing? Check it out on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever awesome podcasts live. I've put all the links in the description. As always, take a snapshot of your setup or share your final shots on Instagram. If you've been experimenting with Platypod gear or try out the lighting setups we've discussed today, I want to see your creations. Make sure you tag Platypod on Instagram and use the hashtag #PostMyPlatypod. And if you like this video, we have a button specifically for you right here. Join the community over on Facebook to see what other Platypod users are up to, and ring the bell so you don't miss our regular videos. That, my friends, is all for today. Keep creating, and I'll see you next time.